All right. Anything else to get off your chest before we jump into a little value dogs?
We have so many teams to talk about. We've spent far too much time on the Seahawks. Let's get out of here.
All right. Let's do it. Week 12, Sound Up Seattle NFL value dogs. Let's give you a quick summary of what happened last week because I really want to say, John, my boy,
Shake it off.
After a 3-0 week 2 weeks ago, goes 0-3 this last week. He is now 14-19 on the season. I have had back-to-back 2-1 weeks. I'm catching up. I'm 13-20. I'm one game behind. I'm right there.
Dude, we're both so fucking bad. This is embarrassing. Come on. How'd I go 0-3 last week?
Dude, it's because you didn't want to take any of my picks. And here's a side note. Underdogs went 5-9 last week. So it was not easy.
Thank goodness. Well, look at you pulling out the 2-1.
That's what I'm saying,
impressive.
dude. I'm feeling good. And the one thing that didn't cover was Chiefs plus 2.5, which felt like a lock, to be honest.
Yeah.
This week, a little bit to me, the lines don't seem as great. It's gonna be a tough one. I've got my 3 picks locked in. If you take any of them, I'm gonna ride the wave. Do you want to go first, or do you want me?
We're trying to get back to 500 here. I got cocky last week. We're gonna do whatever it takes to get back. I'll let you lead it off. I actually like a lot of these lines, so I'll let you lead.
All right, with my first pick, what do I like the most? Yeah, we'll do it. I am going to take the New England Patriots plus 7.5 against the Miami Dolphins. I like this line a lot. I think the Patriots are better than they've been given credit for basically this entire season, especially with Drake May at the helm. And I think the Dolphins have, they beat the Raiders, I think, by 12 last week. And do we think the Patriots are 5 points better than the Raiders? Probably, in my mind. Like, the Raiders are so bad. I also think the Pats defense is decent. They've really turned it up over the last couple weeks. And I just think 7.5 is a full touchdown and a half point. And I think this is an in-division matchup. Like, I think it's going to be a tight game. Patriots are probably planning to lose because they want a better draft pick, but they're going to keep it tight,
No, and they've kind of fully entered the Drake May era. I don't think they're going to be purposely losing games. I think they're trying to build confidence, trying to build rapport with him and his teammates. It seems like they're really excited about what he brings to the table. And for the record, they've already won too many games to secure a top 2-3 pick. So yeah. The difference between the 4th overall pick and the 10th overall pick is a lot smaller than 1 and 4. So. I like that pick. I like that one a lot. I'm going to let you keep it. And I'm going to start us off with a real bummer, and I'm just going to do it. I'm taking the Cardinals plus 1 against the Seattle Seahawks. This is I have not seen this Mike McDonald offense do this twice line. And I don't really trust this defense to show up in the way that they will need to beat this Cardinals team, because I think the Cardinals are incredibly potent. And yeah, I think they're going to win. So call me a hater. I hope I'm wrong. Goodness knows my record would reflect that the Hawks will probably win, but I'm taking the Cards.
Yeah, that's totally fair. The one thing to note about that is it does just make it a pick'em. 1 point is not enough to cover anything. So you're just basically banking on the Cardinals winning, which to me is a 50-50 chance. Like, I really have no idea who's going to come out of this game on top. It's going to be a tight matchup. So, I like it. It wasn't on my list though, so I like that we're separate so far. With my second pick of our NFL Week 12 value dogs, I'm going to take the 49ers plus 2.5 against the Packers. And the reason for that is the Packers are pretty middling in most, like basically you look at Pro Football Reference and you look at the stats between these two teams, and they're basically evenly matched in every single statistical category. And when it comes down to it, that line has actually moved up to plus 3 for the 49ers. Sorry, I just saw that. But it's just one of those things where you're taking the field goal with points. It's good value against, with two teams that are evenly matched. And Christian McCaffrey, he's coming off another week of just like getting back into the rhythm of things. He was still fresh last week. So that just made me excited. I think the 49ers are poised to win this game, keep it tight, and keep the NFC playoff race tight as well. If the Packers win that game, they move up to 8-3, and it just kind of, they kind of solidified the NFC North's hold on the playoff picture.
Sure. That's a very, very solid pick. CMC, I could see a real bounce back game here. This could be really good value on the Niners. Packers barely beat a Bears team that we're not that sure about. Needed to block a field goal to win. So that's a good pick. I was thinking about it, but I don't want it. I'm trying to stay a little more contrarian, and I'm going to do the swing of all swings here. And I can't believe I'm going to do it, but there's too much value on the table. I can't do it. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys plus 10.5 against the Washington Commanders.
I was like, which 10.5 point line is he taking? There's no way he's taking the Panthers. But
I can't. But okay, so get this. The other 10.5 point line is the Panthers against the Kansas City Chiefs. That gap is not the same as the gap between the Cowboys and the Commanders.
Yeah.
Now, most of this is me saying, hey, the Commanders have been dipping in recent weeks. They have not looked nearly as good offensively as they did in the past. So, 10.5 points is a ton of points. That's a touchdown and a field goal, and I can still win. And yeah, the Cowboys are a complete mess, and they're kind of imploding from the inside out, but they still have CeeDee Lamb, and the difference between Cooper Rush and Dak Prescott is smaller than some Niners fans would have you think. Sorry, some Cowboys fans. Yeah, I don't like that I'm doing it, but I have to. It's too many points. I'm taking it.
I don't know my hot take. The Panthers one is better. The Chiefs don't score more than 21 points a game. The Panthers are going to score 15. The Chiefs can't. The Chiefs just can't score more than 25. Like, it's just,
you take it. Take the Panthers line.
No, I've got a better one, but that was my reasoning. I understand the Cowboys line. 10.5 is a touchdown plus a field goal, and you still get a half point. Like, that's a lot. And the Commanders, like you said, have been dipping. So I respect it. It was almost on my list, but I did not take it. With my third and final pick of our Week 12 Sound Up Seattle Value Dogs, I am going to take the Chicago Bears plus 3.5 against the Vikings. And my reasoning for this, I feel like we've been in on the Bears kind of all season, and I recently got back off them because I was like, oh, they've been pretty mediocre for the last 4 weeks. My reasoning for this is that the Vikings are the highest rated blitzing team in all of the NFL. They blitz the most out of all the teams. And I think that is kind of the opportunity for Caleb to shine. He figured a lot of things out last week against Green Bay. And again, it's a divisional matchup. Like, it's going to be a tight one. And I think this could be the game where Caleb is finally like, okay, I figured out how to deal with a blitz. Like, they might not win it. They might lose by a field goal, but this is my shot in the dark that Caleb has his kind of breakout game here, where he has the opportunity to get outside of the pocket and, break containment. I think he had 70 rushing yards last week. Like, he had a really good week last week. And I think he's gonna continue to do that.
Yeah, as somebody that's been rooting for the Bears, a lot of family in Chicago, I was really encouraged by the game last week. And obviously, they've lost like 10 straight to the Green Bay, and the fact that they lost that by getting a field goal blocked sucks. But the fact of the matter is, to your point, Caleb was more effective on the ground than he's probably been in every other game this season combined.
Yeah.
Getting Shane Waldron out of there. That man was poison. As Hawks fans, we should have known better, but that dude was straight poison. Literally nobody is 10 times better for this quarterback situation than Shane Waldron. So, yeah, seeing Caleb use his legs more was very encouraging. That final drive, the fourth down completion to Roma Dunze and then hitting him right again to get back into field goal range. Nice to see him and Caleb continue to, build their rapport. And yeah, this Bears team, defense is still really good. This Vikings team struggling. 3.5 points is a lot. I could see you getting bit because of the blitz rate.
Yeah. I could see, we've talked so much about this Bears offensive line being awful.
And that's the thing, is like, he's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL, and this could be the game that he's been most sacked. But, yeah, he was pretty good last week handling the blitz. He only had one going into that final drive where he got sacked 2 more times. But if he can handle that blitz well, then I think this is a really, really good line. I think basically this entire line hinges on how well he is able to handle the Vikings blitz.
Yeah. Which is why I take it. I believe in the man.
I'm going to let you have that one all to yourself. And with my final pick, just to keep it going, I am taking the Los Angeles Chargers plus 2.5 against the Ravens. This goes against my heart. I love the Ravens. I love betting on the Ravens, but I think the Chargers are still a little bit undervalued offensively. People know that they're one of the, 3-4 best defenses in the NFL. But I think people are like, oh, they have no skill position help. It's just J.K. Dobbins and Justin Herbert out there. But man alive, against the Bengals last week, I know they almost blew it. But in that first half against the Bengals, Herbert looked so sharp. And he did a great job, getting the ball around. Ladd McConkey, their, star rookie, didn't even have that good of a game. It was Quentin Johnson again. It was Joshua Palmer. So I think this offense is a little more potent than people are giving it credit for. Their defense is excellent. And the Ravens, in a, rare twist of fate, their defense is really not that good. They have not had one really defining defensive game so far this year. I think they're kind of one-sided. So they're going to put up points for sure, but I'm trusting the Chargers' balance here.
Yeah, I like that a lot. The main thing is the Ravens. The Ravens are a middling defense when it comes to their total statistics. They middle to low end. Their passing, their pass defense is awful. Their rushing defense is pretty good, but teams just don't rush the way that they normally, or the way that they used to. And this could be a game where J.K. Dobbins doesn't have an amazing stretch, but Ladd McConkey I really expect to blow up here. And then Quentin Johnston, who's had a much improved season from last year, I like. I think Justin Herbert as a guy who can attack this Ravens defense is a good one to bet on here. The plus 2.5 is nice value. Taking any points in that game. If it was Ravens plus 2.5, you probably would have taken that. So whichever team is getting points in that one, you're happy to take.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Is that it? Are we done with our value dogs for week 12?
Wow, 6-0, just like that. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Just that quick.